Guys, the best thing for you is the best thing for everyone around you. If you want to improve your life and your world, you have to improve the world around you, the people you come in contact with. If you do the best thing for them, you are going to be taken care of. I'm mentioning this because I know a lot of you guys are worried. You're afraid of natural sanitation, of copper sanitation, because you see chlorine as a major source of income. Because for the swimming pool industry, chlorine sales is a massive source of income. Now that is a rabbit hole in and of itself, okay? We won't go down that rabbit hole yet, but I'm just saying chlorine sales are massive, and it's a toxic poison that interferes with your body, that some people end up having to get surgery, medication, not just medication, but like antidepressants, things like that, because it affects your hormones, it affects your thyroid, it affects your liver, your kidneys, it affects your entire life. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys, is the best thing for you is the best thing for the people around you. So I know some of you are afraid because you're worried you're going to lose out on some chlorine sales. You're going to lose out on a little bit of money. What you have to understand, guys, is what is the most valuable currency on this planet? What would every multimillionaire, multi-billionaire, I don't care who it is, what would they trade their mountains of wealth for? If they're not already healthy, fit and strong, they would trade their mountains of wealth to be healthy, fit, strong, and have more time on this planet. Time is the most valuable asset we have. So I understand you think, well, if I don't sell chlorine, I'm going to lose out on all these sales. If you keep selling chlorine, you're going to have medical issues. You're going to lose your health. If you're like me, you're going to have your thyroid removed. See that scar right there? I don't have a thyroid anymore. I rely daily on synthetic thyroid hormone medication because mine's gone. So the only way for me to stay chemically, hormonally balanced is through medication. I'll be honest with you, it kind of scares me a little bit because lots of times whenever I get my medication, they only give me like a 30-day or 60-day or 90-day supply. Well, I always think to myself, well, what if something happens and I can't, right now, I'm not trying to get too deep into this, but right now there's all this crazy stuff going on in the world with Korea, China, Ukraine, Russia. I mean, I'm probably leaving a bunch of stuff out. But what if stuff starts happening and medication's not that easy to get? We just had COVID not too long ago. I think a lot of people had problems getting their medication during COVID. I know the pharmaceuticals probably worked around it and made sure we got our medication because the pharmaceuticals want their money, that's for sure. But I'm just saying, guys, you want your natural whole body, guys. You don't want to be reliant on an outside third-party pharmaceutical company just so you can be balanced and normal. What do you think that's worth? How much chlorine sales are you willing to trade for losing your health like that? None. Not only that, guys, when you improve your world, when you do the best thing for you, the healthiest thing for you, and you spread that around to the people around you, do you not think you're going to be rewarded? Even if it isn't monetarily. However, I think that it probably ends up being monetarily. Just living and doing the right thing, I think in the long run pays off. I think it's the way to live. And even if it didn't pay off monetarily, it's going to pay off in other ways. You're going to sleep at night with a clear conscience. You're going to be healthy, fit, and strong. The people around you are going to appreciate the fact that you are not as worried about the profit, and you're more worried about doing what's best for the people around you. These are your friends. These are your people. This is your world. You want them to be taken care of. You're sacrificing a lot more than you even realize when you embrace chlorine. Not only that, guys, but come on. Look at what year it is, guys. I don't even want to say it because I don't know how long this video will last. Maybe we'll see it again 10 years from now. Why do we keep doing the same thing when there's a better way? The ancient Egyptians this is how they sanitized their water. The original settlers in America, this is how they sanitized their water. They used copper instead of chlorine. Right now, you're primarily using chlorine. And guess what happens? Whenever you have an algae problem, what do? You add some copper-based algicide because it works the best. Yeah, make sure you get the chelated kind because it reduces the chances of staining. But how much more would you rather stain the pool, which doesn't happen? None of our natural pools are stained. But even if they were, because I know that's one of the big arguments against natural sanitation is, oh, well, it stains your plaster. Well, it hasn't happened to any of ours. Only if you grossly neglect the copper in the pool and let it get like 10 times above the recommended level do you get staining. And those stains are even treatable. So that's still not even an argument. So who would rather stain their personal health, lose their thyroid, than a superficial cosmetic stain on plaster that can be removed, that doesn't cause any damage or anything? It's not going to cause your plaster to prematurely erode or any issue, not like chlorine is going to. Chlorine breaks down equipment, breaks down plaster. There's nothing chlorine doesn't break down. It breaks down everything. That's why it's so valuable, because it's such a strong toxin that it kills everything, including you. Slowly. They don't want to just, it's like cigarettes. You can't just smoke one cigarette and fall over dead. They wouldn't make any money off of you. They microdose. Then you have health complications. Do you know the same people who own the pharmaceutical companies, Pfizer, for example, they also are the major shareholders in the largest chlorine manufacturer? I wonder why. You ever consider why the people who own the largest shareholders of the chlorine, which causes health complications and a need for medication, they also own the biggest pharmaceutical company, Pfizer? And I've only looked that far. I haven't looked at the other pharmaceutical companies or the other chlorine manufacturers, but I'm willing to bet it's a common theme. Okay? There's a reason for that, guys. What I'm saying is do the best thing for you. You're the pool guy. Guess who's going to suffer the most from years of chlorine exposure? You think it's going to be your customers? Not really. You know as well as I do, a lot of them probably don't even use their pool on a very regular basis. So it's easy for them to write off not switching over to a natural pool because they're like, whatever. It's crazy for me to say, but they're like, whatever. I don't mind a little bit of toxic carcinogenic poison in my life. Like, I don't think people really understand what they're saying, but they're okay with it because, like smoking a cigarette, you'll smoke a cigarette, you don't fall over dead on the spot. It takes years and years and years before you have complicated health problems. So this is affecting you the most. You need to do the best thing for you, because it's the best thing for you, and it's also the best thing for those around you. You're going to be affected even more. Guys, I didn't even make it 20 years in the pool industry, not even a full 20 years before my thyroid was removed from chlorine exposure. I think it was right about the 16, 17 year mark. It's about how long I made it. So you're a pool professional, you're working on pools, you're coming in contact with it on a regular basis, you're breathing that nastiness in your lungs. What do you think it's doing to your cardio? What do you think it's doing to your heart? What do you think it's doing to your liver and your kidneys? What do you think it's doing to your thyroid? Yeah, I know you don't touch a tab and fall over dead on the spot, but what do you think that exposure of one of the most toxic poisons known to man, year after year after year, day after day after day, what do you think it's going to do to you in the long run? Let's say you make a bunch of money in the pool industry, because it's an incredibly lucrative business if you do it right. Let's say you make a whole bunch of money. You're wealthy. You got millions in the bank, maybe even more. And you're about 60 years old and you get diagnosed with cancer. Come on, guys. What's it worth? I'd rather be broke at 60 years old and be healthy than get a diagnosis like, oh yeah, hey, I made it. I made millions off of chlorine. Not only did you sell a bunch of toxins to the people closest to you, the people in your world, but you yourself were exposed to it on a regular basis. That's not the way to do it, guys. Especially not whenever there's a natural, healthy way to do it. Copper. Right now, you're using chlorine primarily. You go to a copper-based algicide whenever you have problems. Why don't you just use copper primarily with a touch of chlorine every once in a while when you have problems? You're just flipping it. Instead of chlorine your primary and copper your secondary, it's copper your primary and chlorine your secondary, only if you absolutely need it. And now you can keep your chlorine levels at an incredibly low level. Well, like below 1 part per million. I know the CDC, the EPA, whatever, they say that a safe amount of chlorine in the water is 4 parts per million. I don't know about you guys. You guys can believe that all you want. They also say it's safe to have fluoride in the water too. So they put fluoride and chlorine in the water. They say both of those are safe. Well, the fluoride's been debunked. No need for fluoride in our water whatsoever, at least not today. I understand the need for chlorine in the city municipality water. I'm curious if there's a better way, but I do understand the need because a lot of that water goes to our toilets, and I can kind of see a need for that to have a strong sanitary. I don't even like using toxic in that. If there's a better way, I'd rather use that. But I can kind of understand the need to have the chlorinated water in our sewage systems. Okay, that makes sense to me. So I'm not necessarily advocating for the abolition of chlorine. I see its place. I see the need for it. What I am advocating is you abolish it from your life and your body. It's affecting you the most. You, the most. Not your customers, you. You're doing this for you, not for them. They're gonna benefit too, though. You see what I'm saying? And you make your world better. You're healthier. You're fit, healthy, strong, happy, balanced, not relying on medication. Guess what? Your customers will be too. Like, it spreads, it breeds, it's infectious. Everybody wants to be healthy. Most people understand the most valuable asset we have is time. I think it takes us getting a little bit older to really come to the full realization of that. But a lot of your customers are at that point in their life where that's what they want. They want to maximize their health, their fitness, their well-being, their mental health. You can give that to them. And at the same time, you can improve your own health and well-being and sleep with a clear conscience at night. So I got one more. Let's say you're like, well, Jesse, I'm not exposed to the chlorine. You know, I got guys that work for me. What about your guys, bro, gal, whoever I'm talking to? What about those people working for you? Are you not concerned? I know you're concerned about them. We have to put people first. Right now, the pool industry is putting profit first. We're making money. Not only that, but if the chlorine does cause some kind of health issues, well, Big Pharma makes money. Everybody's making money. Why don't we take a step back, recognize that there's a better, healthier alternative, embrace it for ourselves to improve our lives, our family, our employees, and then spread that to our customers. Guys, like, this is the future of pool sanitation, natural sanitation, not using a toxic chemical of war. Look it up, guys. I'll do some more videos. I'm gonna do the research for you and show you how chlorine has been used over the years. But I just wanted to come here to say that the best thing for you is also the best thing for your customers and the best thing for your employees. And while it might seem like on the front end, it doesn't make a lot of money, money isn't as valuable as time. Give yourself more time and you can make more money. But do it the right way. Do it with a clear conscience. Lay down at night knowing you're doing everything you can to spread as much health and awareness as possible. and that the only people continuing to use chlorine are the people who just, sometimes it takes people a while to come around. And if they want to do that, then that's fine. But at least you're doing everything you can to spread as much health and well-being as you possibly can for yourself, your family, your employees, and your customers. Live natural, be healthy. Let's be happy. Make America healthy again. I like that. That's great, man. Natural Pool Man loves this. Be a natural pool man too. I don't have to be the only one doing it. Get on this. Let's make a difference instead of worrying about making profit. That's stupid.